Hello there, Assalamu alaikum. I hope you are well by the grace of Almighty Allah. This is Rakibul Islam Rakib. I have completed my graduate from Shahjalal University of Science and Technology in Economics. Uh, Currently, I am pursuing my master's degree in the same university. The topic I would like to describe from the pure exchange economy and the competitive market system. The first one is the blocking coalition and the code, and the second one is the aggregate excess demand. So let's dive into the topics in details. Firstly comes the blocking coalition. We say that S blocks X, which is from the feasible allocation if there is an allocation Y such that the first criteria is allocation is feasible for S, which means allocation Y coincides with their aggregate initial endowment. So the equation clearly depicts it, and the second one is the preferable condition. There are two preferable conditions likely. Yi is greater than xi, which means that allocation Y makes at least one individual in the coalition is strictly better off, and the second preferable condition is yi greater than or equivalent to xi, which means that allocation Y makes all the individuals in the coalitions weakly better off. So in the blocking coalitions, this two equation defines that the consumers in S must be able to take what they themselves have and divide it up differently among themselves so that none is worse off and at least one is better off. Then with their assignment under X, thus an allocation X is blocked whenever some group, no matter how large or small, can do better than they do under X by simply going it alone. By contrast, an allocation is unblocked if no coalition can block it. Final requirement for equilibrium is that the allocation is unblocked. In the two consumer case, because all allocation outside the lanes are blocked by a coalition consisting of a single consumer, in general, if X belongs to the feasible condition is unblocked, then it must be Pareto efficient. Especially in the barter economy, and allocation X belongs to the feasible condition is an equilibrium in the exchange economy with endowment E if X is not blocked by a coalition of consumers. So if we dive into the next topic, the core of an exchange economy. The core of an exchange economy with endowment E is the set of all unblocked feasible allocation X. Such allocations are mutually beneficial and because they lie in the lane shift area, and they do not allow for further Pareto improvement because they lie on the contract curve. Every exchange economy possesses at least one allocation in the core, and that is must there exist at least one feasible and unblocked coalition. As we shall later know that a number of familiar conditions we have argued in the under these circumstances, including the costless nature of both the formation of coalition and the acquisition of the information needed to arrange mutually beneficial traders. Consumers are led through the process of voluntary exchange to pursue the attainment of allocation in the core. If we see it in the graph that I would like to use pointer, then it will be clear for you. The first requirement is the to be in the feasible condition, which means the to be in the edge or box, and the second requirement is to be in the lane shift area with the initial endowment, and to be in Pareto efficient, which is in the lane shift area, and there is a contact curve. Contact curve is the locus point which is tangent of the two persons indifference curve. So it is the tangent of the two persons indifference curve, sorry. So the co-allocations from this part to that part, the tiny part, this tiny part, the co-allocation under the lens shaft is mutually beneficial, and it's don't allow parameter improvement because it's lie on the contact curve and it is the optimal point, so it's don't allow parameter improvement. I think I can make clear about a better picture. So in the next slide I will like to learn equilibrium in a competitive market system. The first topic was aggregate excess demand. So let's define the consumer. Consumer utility to be continuous is strictly increasing, strictly quasi-concave in positive real number. The utility maximization problem for every consumer I find facing a budget constraint. Here the valuation demand x is a function of p comma p price of the initial endowment. So the difference between aggregate demand and aggregate endowment is the excess demand function for good k. The simple equation shows that if zkp is greater than 0, it means excess demand of good k. That means that the aggregate demand is exceeds the aggregate endowment of good k, and if zkp is less than 0, which means that the aggregate demand is less than the aggregate endowment of good k. So here excess supply of good k. If we illustrate it in the graph in the next slide, the first slide, the first picture shows us that the difference in demand supply and the excess demand. Again, if we point out pointer here, it is the supply curve. It is the supply curve and it is the demand curve. So it shows from equilibrium point, from this equilibrium point to that point shows of the demand curve excess demand, and this is showed the negative excess demand. I think I am clear about my thought. This shows the excess demand which is positive, and this shows the negative demand of which is negative. And there are three properties of aggregate excess demand function which I will like to talk about it. So the first one is the continuity. Z function is continuous at p, which means zp has a respective value at every p, so it is continuous. And the second one is the homogeneity. The z function of lambda p is equal to zp, which means that if price is increased lambda times, income will be increased lambda times, so there will be no effect in the excess demand function. And the third one is the walrus law, which is p dot zp is equal to 0, which means that the prices value of excess demand across all market equal to 0 in equilibrium prices. It implies that the excess supply in the economy will be balanced out or matched out by the excess demand in the economy. So I think this interesting part something will give you about learn. So that's the part from I would learn or share from you with you guys. So thanks for happy learning. Thanks for your kind concentration. Goodbye. Allah Hafiz.